I know that I haven't posted in a while. I've been working a ton of crazy hours. I've been pulling 64-hour weeks, week after week. I have a lot of credit card debt, trying to pay that off. I'll make another video talking about that. But I'm in my car now. I am stuck in a boatload of traffic, as you can probably see. So I figured this would be a great time to go ahead and make a video. So I do want to talk about my marathon a little bit. I talked about the ups and downs, things that happen with that, and just go over the entire journey. So I was training pretty well until I'd say the end of August, and then I started teaching for a school that was near me, some community college, and it really took a toll on me because those were extra hours that I needed to work. Plus I started picking up more shifts, and I realized that, hey, I have a lot of credit card debt. I really need to start paying off this credit card debt. So I picked up more shifts, top of more shifts, and I was really only running twice a week. My weekly mileage was anywhere from 15 to 25. When you're training for a marathon, your weekly mileage should be anywhere from 30 to 40, and I was just not getting that. Me, totally to blame. If I really wanted to run that much, I could have, but I still wanted to spend time with my family. Still wanted to enjoy life because I was working all those hours, still working all these hours, and life was stressful, and training for a marathon on top of that was pretty stressful as well. So therefore, I did not train nearly as much as I should have. Plus I didn't want to lose muscle mass, so I tried to work out and hit the gym whenever I could as well, and I just went with it. Anyway, between August and November 10th, I wasn't running a whole lot. The longest I ran was 15 miles at one point, when the longest run should have been 20 miles. Should have worked my way up running like 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then work back down for my long runs. Did not do that. Most of my long runs were about half marathons. So when I actually ran the marathon, I got to 50 miles and I was like, wow, this is the longest I've ran before, or this year anyway. So I figured that, hey, we made it this far, we can make the rest. So I was feeling pretty good up to that point. I actually made it to mile 20, and then that's when things really started to go downhill. I'll talk about that a little bit here. So let's talk about race day. Race day came. I was excited because weeks leading up to, I was like, I'm not running as much, I'm not training as much, I really don't want to run this. But I have friends who were running it, and I kept telling myself how much I regretted not running one marathons in the past. And that was because I decided to stop training. Same scenario kind of happened. I was working a lot, wasn't running much, and I decided to not run that marathon. And I really do think about that a lot. I think that I really should have ran it, should have trained, and I didn't want to have that same scenario again. Therefore, I just said, I don't care what my training is or how far I've come, I'm going to do this thing. So I finally did run it. Race day came, I was pretty excited. I knew a couple days leading up to it that race day is going to kick my ass. And it definitely did. I am recording this video a week out, and let's just say I am still hurting. So I ran the first 20 miles at like a 9:15-ish pace on average, which is pretty good. I was moving for not training a whole lot. But then mile 20 came, and my legs just totally said, screw you, Austin, we're not working. My quads would cramp up super bad, and I could only run about 100 yards or so without them cramping up again. So another thing that I'd say is I didn't train on sore legs enough. So therefore, I'd start running and my legs would be super sore, and I'd be like, I gotta stop. I should have trained on sore legs. I should have ran on sore legs. That way I could get used to that feeling. So I had that, and I had them cramping up, which just wasn't a good combo. I'd say that I carb loaded pretty good. I ate pretty good. Excuse me. I hydrated well before the race. I was pretty good with the whole nutrition part. Before the race started that day, I ate a muffin, which was like 400 calories, ton of carbs. That was good. I packed some gummies that kind of helped, but midway through the race, I was definitely super hungry, and I was just feeling drained. I do want to sign up for another marathon eventually. Right now, I don't know what I want to do race-wise or anything, but my time was 4 hours and 47 minutes, which is terrible because mile 20, I basically walked the rest. I walked for 58 minutes of my marathon. My first marathon I ever ran, I was a whole lot more prepared than this one. I ran it in 3 hours and 45 minutes. So this marathon here took me a whole hour longer, and it's because of my training. It's crazy how much 10 extra miles a week will make you prepared for race day. But like I said, I don't know what I want to train yet, or what I want to train for yet. My legs are still super sore. I'm glad that I finished, but I definitely want to do better. My original goal was 3 hours and 30 minutes. And then, like I said, August came and my training just went downhill. But it is what it is. I finished. I mean, most people can't even say they ever ran a marathon before. So I'm pretty proud of that, but I definitely did not reach my goal. Have I paid off a lot of credit card debt so far? I have, and that's awesome. Like I said, I'll make another video talking about that and how I paid off a boatload of credit card debt. Hopefully by May of this year or next year, most of my credit card debt will be gone. That's the goal anyway. Still working crazy hours, but the end of this or beginning of December, the fall semester ends, so I'll stop teaching for the school that I'm teaching for. I'll probably pick up more hours at the hospital. That way I can pay off some more credit card debt that way. But I still want to maintain my stamina throughout the time that I'm thinking about another race. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but between my first marathon and this marathon, I definitely stopped running and I lost everything. So when I was training for this marathon, I had to relearn everything. I would say that my body got a hold of everything or remembered how to do everything pretty easily. That muscle memory was still with me. And running 20 miles at a 9:15 pace was pretty good for the amount of training that I did. Now, my next one, I definitely want to do sub 4. I don't know what marathon I want to do yet. I'll probably do, I have no idea if I want to do a half marathon, 5K, but definitely another marathon at some point. Anyway, I know I haven't made a video in a very long time. This was a super boring video, just me talking to the camera. If you guys have any questions about my marathon training or about anything, please let me know. But when you run a marathon, you have so many ups and downs. There's a great quote where it says, a man will not find himself until he runs 26.2 miles. And honestly, that's the truth, because when I ran this marathon, like I said, mile 20 is generally when the race starts for everybody. You get to mile 20 and then it's how prepared are you? And obviously I wasn't prepared at all, but this is where you really need to dig deep. And this is where the hard part comes. This is where the race actually starts. And I'd say that I was hurting. I was in hell. It was just not fun at all. And I definitely wanted to quit. It was not fun, but I told myself that, Austin, you did this before, you signed up for this, you're so close, even though it was 6 miles away. We still got it done. I was super hungry at this point. I was running. Some people had some pickles. I took a little bit of pickles and ate. That was super good. And then I was running again. And in the beginning of the race, I saw this guy and I kind of laughed. But he had shots of Fireball he was giving people. So I was getting ready to run by this guy's tent. And what I did was stopped, said to the guy, "Hey, can't get much worse than this, can it?" So I took a shot of the Fireball. And then I was like, oh man, I probably should have recorded that. So then I got my camera out and I was like, well guys, here goes a shot of Fireball. And then took my Fireball. So I had 2 shots and I was like, well, hopefully this will help with the pain a little bit, help with my hunger, because I just needed something. Which I think it did a little bit, but I definitely was feeling it as well, because I'm not a drinker. 2 shots of Fireball will do it for me. I'll be feeling it. After that, they had a little bit of Gatorade at some stand. I took that. But yeah, that's probably the stupidest thing I did, but we finished. One thing I wasn't a fan of one thing about this race that I was not a fan of is the aid stations and how they were spread apart. I felt like some places the aid stations were really close, and then other parts the aid stations were really far apart. Same thing with the porta potties. Like, I just was not a fan of that. Also, at the end of the race, there was nowhere to sit. You just ran 26.2 miles. I wanted to sit down a little bit, kind of relax, eat some food, whatever the case may be. When I finished the race, I grabbed the bottle of Prime, chugged that, and then I had like a pretzel sandwich. And I took a couple bites, and I said to my wife, like, I am feeling nauseous. Like I said, I was starving, and I just kept chugging and put a bunch of food in my body, and I was just delusional. I just didn't feel good. And then after that, we went out to eat. I still didn't eat a whole lot. And then on the way home, I decided to take a nap in the car. I woke up, I had a massive headache. Because I was super dehydrated at this point, I didn't really have a whole lot of stuff to drink, stuff to eat. And my body was just so depleted. When you run a marathon, you're burning well over 3,000 calories. So my body was definitely in distress. And like I said, it's a week out, and my feet still hurt a little bit. That's my own fault as well, because I worked almost 70 hours this week. Didn't give myself a whole lot of time to rest. My legs still kind of hurt. I have a buddy, I asked him, he was in the same boat as me, finished 10 minutes after me. I asked him, like, how you feeling? He's like, oh, I already hit legs this week. I'm like, dude, you're freaking crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here, give you guys an update about the whole marathon thing. I do want to start posting a little bit more and just talking. But yeah, anyway, if you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. If you made it this far, thank you. Appreciate all of you guys so much. Anyway, see you next one. Be the 1%.